NPM Mohiz, he is discussing with us, discussing on human-centered design, examining the role of human behavior in transport accidents and exploring strategies to promote safe practices among drivers, operators and pedestrians. Professor NPM Mohiz, Professor Mohammad Mohiz is attached to the Department of Sociology, University of Colombo. He has been engaged in his teaching, publishing and other academic work in private since 2000. He earned his Bachelor of Arts Honours in Sociology from the University of Kerala in 1999. MA Research degree in Environmental Sociology from the University of Colombo in 2007. PhD in Water Resource Management from Postgraduate Institute of Agriculture, University of Kerala in collaboration with Crossing Boundaries Project of Netherlands in 2011, postgraduate diploma in counseling in 2018 from Catalonia Education University of Colombo. He has published a number of research papers locally and internationally in the field of environmental sociology, water resources management, political ecology, development politics, human-wildlife conflict, social harmony, volunteerism, and students' counseling. Professor Mohiz has published 5 books: Environmental Movement in Sri Lanka in 2010, Development Sociology in 2019, Environment Politics in 2020, Sociology of Social Problems in 2021, and Social Legal Theory in 2021. Professor Mohiz is current President of Arts Council of the University of Colombo and coordinator of postgraduate diploma in Housing and Psychosocial Support in Faculty of Graduate Studies, University of Colombo. He was the president of Colombo University Teachers Association. He was a former senior student counselor for University of Colombo and academic affairs board member of National Institute of Education and National Education Committee for Reform. He was also former postgraduate coordinator for Department of Sociology, University of Colombo. Over to you, Professor Mohiz, for your presentation.
Why youths are use love even in Sri Lanka, we know that the vehicle shaving is one of the main cause for the oral cancer in our country. But we can't stop it. Why? It has become a part of our culture. If we want to stop vehicle shaving, we have to launch a war against culture. So therefore, we can't bring solution to most of our problems because they are very much culture. They are part of their day-to-day life. So that has been proved in the studies and research that have been done in the recent past. So then we know that sometimes, I don't know, I can just tell you, even most of the road accidents we have in Sri Lanka, we can see that the vehicles, the nature of the vehicles. I remember when we were small, there was some boats in some hospital, they were called Honda boats, Yamaha boats and Suzuki boats. I think Mr. Haritohan might know even Pune. Those days the vehicles that were imported from some countries, Europe and Japan, were very strong. They were rather more protective form of vehicles. But look at the number of the nature of the vehicle we have today. The Indian vehicles, mostly CD100, three-wheelers, other we popularly known as demo bike, many other vehicles, even Maruti, Suzuki Maruti. So then we know there is something wrong with even our latest vehicle that our boys are using. If you look at some vehicles in the down part of the slides, you can see those are very heavy-built vehicles. Even if they have accident, at least they can save their life. But today, you know that although we get a high profit from some of the bikes and other vehicles, those profits have to be spent for the treatments that are given in authorized courts. Some patients are receiving treatment more than 1 year, more than 2 years. They remain, disabled forever. So therefore, we have to think about the quality of the vehicle and what type of behavior is related to the vehicle is very important. And one more thing I want to remind here. Sometimes some people, they are more concerned about animal rights more than human rights. Both are important. I don't know whether we have done any studies. I think that Dr. Sankar, we have around 3 million stray dogs in this country. More than 3 million. If you just come from one household to next door, how many stray dogs are there? We can just think, what is the correlation between stray dogs and motorbike accidents? That is not in Kalam. If you go to Anuradhapur, Pune, Koronadu area, people are typically using lightweight motorbikes, like a CD100 is a very lightweight motorbike because one can travel around 60 kilometers with 1 liter. So then many people love it because they are low income people, they can't use heavy-built bicycles. So therefore, there is a correlation. If you ask them, at least once or twice they have met with an accident because of these dogs. But no solution is given to them. I don't know what is the political economy behind that. We have to think about that. So then, other things, if you go to the Kalambu, we can observe RDA put up roads, then water boards and drainage, they come and dig the roads. In right middle of the road, you see quite a lot of damage. Sometimes people love their vehicle more than themselves. So they try to protect their vehicle. So they just try to leave those just and small damages. So then it easily allows them to experience road accidents. So then we have to think about the psychology of the vehicle owners. Because they have a vehicle loan and they get a motorbike or three-wheel. So they try to always protect their vehicle. So then even there is some people say that it is making and breaking development. Every time we see the digging roads, excavation of the roads, right? So then even telecoms and everything. So therefore those could be simply done, but not happening. Normally, according to the World Bank reports of 2020, it says 70% of the road accidents involving the low-income groups. That is what I told you. I think Mr. Ajit Pawar might know better than me. We have around 1 million previews in Sri Lanka. 1 million previews. So we have around 8 million motorbikes, mostly motorbikes. Almost everybody uses motorbikes in our country. Right? Although people use their vehicle, they can travel 5-6 kilometers per liter, but a person who uses a normal bike, he travels more than 50 kilometers. So therefore, even ladies are using. So then we have to think about why these youths love their death more than their life. What is the story behind it? Now, if we go to the other slides, I think I don't need to tell you these are well analyzed data taken from the Ministry of Transport and Highways. You see the number of death tolls as Mr. Ajit Pawar told. I think we are losing around 5 to 8 people every day. The young people, educated people who needs to be served to our country in the labor force. I think we are losing more deaths. We are having more deaths in the sector of road accident, more than wars, more than suicide, or more than anything else. So therefore, I think Professor Amala and all are there, they know what is the economic cost of it. So then, my argument is, look at here who mainly dies. Look at these figures, I take them from the Ministry of Highways and Transport. Mainly motorcyclists, right? But most of them are educated youths who can contribute our labor force. So then drivers, passengers, if you go to the vehicles, number one is motorcycle, right? Then lorries, three-wheelers, motor cars, private buses. So then I think as our professor mentioned, the accident trauma is, we don't have any assurance about our life when we go to the roads. Right? Sometimes some people are afraid of traveling by air, but there is no issue traveling by air. Very hardly any air crash happens. But in Sri Lanka, traveling in public road is the most dangerous. So even if somebody wants to kill a person, the simple way is to do it through a road accident. That is how people speak. If you want to kill somebody, you can kill him or her. And you can say simply, I didn't have brakes in my vehicle. I couldn't manage my vehicle. So therefore, it happens. So then we have to critically think about why this is happening. Look at this one. This is what I want to tell you as a result of my analysis. First, we have to understand the lifestyle of the youth. Then, the risk-taking culture. I think Sri Lankans are very, very fond of taking risk culture. You might know in Sri Lanka people, youths, they die in drawing water. No, not normal children or normal students. Sometimes very brave, very well-built people, they lose their life by getting into water because they love to take the risk. And also we have to analyze what is risk, what is vulnerability, what is hazards. Risk, vulnerability and hazards. These three are very important. Right? So then, also we have to think about age and gender. We have very less number of deaths reported from motorcycle accidents from the female sector. In case of if they travel with somebody else, they also will have the experience. Even if you take even suicide or any other fatal incidents, the male death toll is very high. So we have to study why is it, what is the culture behind that. That has to be read. I think you can't analyze or you can't provide a solution for road accident only through technological or other ways. You have to read, you have to understand. Especially we know that when it comes to three-wheel culture, there is a subculture. That subculture is totally different from others, right? How they are brought up. If you go to the slum communities in Sri Lanka, so because they are brought up and they are socialized to be risky people. They say it is risky but not dangerous. Fast driving and the over-assessment of themselves when they drive, you can understand. Especially if you go to the private bus drivers. Take for example 138 bus, Peta, Omagamo, Maharani. Look at the way they drive. Sometimes even you can't see the driver. Driver is invisible. He is such a small person. But the way he handles the bus is incredible. Because they love it. Right? So we have to address this culture. We have to go into their subculture. That then only we can solve this problem. Then again, one more thing, education level, livelihood and mentally, that's another factor. Right? How people think about because psychology of the people. Normally, some drivers, when they start their driving vehicle from Colombo to Jaffna, how many hours they have to travel? The passengers sometimes they fall asleep. They have to do their business alone. Right? So then there is no any mechanism for them to make them more vigilant in their driving. So sometimes the song that I love and song the driver love is different. Sometimes we love the song of Amardev and Mandramani, but drivers they don't like it. They like very fast track songs because then only they can have some encouragement. So there is a different culture. Our culture and their culture is different. So that we have to understand. So that cultural gap has to be filled. That cultural gap has to be understood. So then only we can think about bringing down this fatalities. So especially we need to have more psychologists and sociologists into this forum. So that is very, very important. So when I come as some mitigation plans, because that is what we want to do here, the most important thing is we have to give better awareness, especially focusing on the motorbike riders. How can we do it? I think that's not a simple thing. It's not a simple awareness. Right? We have to do it at a micro level, at a rural level, giving them some cultural values. If we are mindful, we can do it. The second one is the subculture of the three-wheel drivers. We know that three-wheel drivers they can be controlled in a proper way. Right? They can be controlled in a proper way. One old grandmother told me one day, she was attacked by a sound. Once she get back and see there is nothing, she thought that it is some ghost or devil. But later somebody has seen a three-wheel has passed. So you can imagine about the speed of the three-wheel. So we have to talk to them. They have a different culture. Right? Even we know that they are very good in some cases. When there is a patient, when there is emergency, they help us. Right? But they are socially marginalized. They are socially excluded from the main culture. Three-wheel car, something like that. So that has to be changed. We have to look at it from a positive way. We have to promote some social rewards and values for their service. Then they will be for university professor, consultant, medical consultant knows that you can't have any deal with a triple driver. So they are in a separate world. Right? The way they drive is totally different. So how are we going to talk to them? How are we going to address their issues? Because you know that they have to drive their vehicle very fast. They are given a permission or permit to travel, sand or whatever it is, within a limited number of hours. So they want to protect their livelihood and feed their children. So they don't worry about others. So then we have to understand them and we have to give them different opportunities. Then social cultural discourse against the risk taking driving risk. So normally you see in Sri Lanka we have the Toyota Premio car is the most popular common car among the middle class educated people. We see less number of accidents. Right? Why? Look at the background and culture of the owner of the car. He is coming from a different background. If you go to another vehicle, we'll say Demo Bata or Mahindra or we'll say Bolero. So their background is different. So then we have to study the psychology and the social background of the driver in a different way. And also better if we can provide some other solutions, especially if we can have social mechanisms to monitor these things. Finally, with regard to passengers and pedestrians, we have plans and procedures only considering sometimes the vehicles. Now, for example, look at in Maradana, good pedestrian bridge. Why people don't use it? Because they have to spend extra time. Right? Because even we don't like to use extra time. I will tell you one story. There at the university when IOX want to put some cross and bylaws in between buildings. So when engineers try to put the cross and bylaws, he asks them, don't do it right now. We'll wait until the student comes. Then the student will find best roads and shoulder roads and crossroads. Thereafter we will put roads. But anyway, we have to do anything for the user-friendly way. So Maradana pedestrian bridge is used by whom? Sometimes beggars and sometimes prostitutes. Because we have to, the vehicle can travel even an extra distance. That is okay. But pedestrians, they don't like it. So we have to think about the pedestrians and the passengers. So then that we have to think and we have to promote passengers and pedestrian societies more and more. We have to educate them. We have to make clubs and societies. We have to legally empower them. Then police and others can simply do their task. So that part is very important. When somebody starts speaking in the bus against a driver and a conductor, no one is coming to him or her. They become isolated. So that social protection has to be given to the passenger and pedestrians. So we have to create some kind of collective sentiments among themselves. Again, for that, we have to give some social security for it. So finally, we have to make a voice against bribery and corruptions. So sometimes it may be against police or any other persons. People think that we can do anything if we have money, if we have favoritism and nepotism. So that is there. So therefore, finally, I would like to say that the culture is very important. Culture is social values, norms, and lifestyle of the people. So we have to critically understand the culture of the people, and also we have to give the values. We should not just let them away. Now, for example, finally, I would like to say, you know about the PETA and fort. People love to be in the fort. The fort is very nice, very organized, very good place. But PETA is not that good place. bad, that smells coming, people are not that good, Natamis, and other people are going here and there. But if you want to have a good fort, you need to have such kind of peta. Fort and peta are just like two sides of the same coins. So even we have respect low-income groups, motorbike cyclists, three-wheel drivers, they will never understand our culture. We have to understand their culture and we have to get down to them. We say unconditional positive regard. We have to get back to their roots level and understand them. Then hopefully we will be able to minimize these things. Once again, thanks for giving this opportunity.
Thank you.